Okay, welcome class to our presentation on the selecting an appropriate model.
Our challenge was to design a classroom activity, and so it's going to be as part of one lesson plan, and we designed an activity or chose to do it for small children.
Okay, so the instructional design model that we decided to use is the Assure model, and that's what we're gonna be explaining to you.
The first part of the Assure model is analyze learners. As Sharon Smaldino said, nothing you plan or design is effective unless you have taken the time to look at the learners.
Then you state the objectives. You need to know what you want the students to learn, and this is a great way to figure out what your purpose in doing this activity is.
You need to third select your methods, media, and materials. And I like how this model emphasizes and reminds us that we can either select materials that have already been done, we can produce new materials, or repurpose existing materials.
Okay, then you need to simply utilize or implement the media materials that you select.
And fourth, you need to require learner, or fifth actually, require learner participation. And that's what you need to do. Plan how you're gonna do that. Okay, the last step is to evaluate and revise your work. That just means taking a summative evaluation, saying what worked and what didn't, and how will we improve it.
We chose this model because it was designed for classroom teachers. We think that it will be a dynamic and a flexible model to be adjustable to any type of material. It's simple and it focuses on the learner.
Some of the trade-offs will be, it assumes that the teacher already knows the moments of instruction that Gagne talks about in terms of grabbing the kid's attention, stimulating recall, presenting, etc. So the model assumes that the teacher already understands other elements of professional planning format and knows how to do that to meet the learner needs. And other than that, there aren't very many trade-offs because it's for a simple classroom activity. We didn't want it to use some complicated model that was more complicated than the actual activity.
So for the possible modifications that are made to this design model, because this is designed for teachers and not necessarily designers, the last three phases are the way that they were written initially are more focused on the teacher. So as opposed to us actually doing them as outlined in the original model, we would plan for how the teachers would utilize media materials, require learners' participation, evaluate and revise, how the teachers would do this in the classroom as opposed to us actually doing it, since we're the designers. And we'd also need to address the scope, add in a piece of it where we look at how this lesson fits into the pre-lessons as well as to the post-lessons, because that wasn't built into this model. The end.
The end.
Yay.